question that I'm going to pose to the both of you, and I'll start with asking Abhishek first. So,
Well,
Abhishek, could you please tell us? You've been working with many organizations, a lot of BFSI organizations also. How do you see the technology and overall ICT landscape evolving in the last couple of years? And what are some of the key emerging trends that you have witnessed?
Sure. So when I think about this, there's a very relatable example that I can give. If we just go back in time a couple of years ago, to open up, let's say, a demat account or to register for a SIM card, do you remember how there was a lot of paperwork involved? Like, you just go there, like, take a photograph with you, put it into this thing, sign on it, and then you should take a photo, and like, all that stuff is happening, all the paperwork. But when you go to take, like, a SIM card today, like, it's just your thumb that you need, because a lot of these systems have been automated. Like, there's a great initiative by the government, which is DigiLocker, right? Which holds all of your documents. Now, when we take this to BFSI, like, do you recollect when COVID happened, there was this one big crash in the market. And then after that crash, like, there was a good, like, sprint of recovery. And like, we hear in the news that the BFSI sector has been growing at about 31% year on year. And like, without technology, that could not have happened. And to give you an example, it was in COVID that these, like, the BFSI companies, at least the ones we work with, uh, they revolutionized their processes. Well, to open up a DMAT account, like, and in those numbers, like, and the numbers are quite, like, accessible on the internet. Uh, it would not have been possible with the paperwork process. So a lot of BFSIs went through, like, re-envisioning their KYC journeys. Everything went digital. Like, there are companies like DigiO in the market, which help you do KYCs, re-KYCs, etc. And like, then from the government's end, there is DigiLocker. So a lot of these integrations is, like, what helped them. And for as long as I remember, we have been doing this for BFSI, and like, we have got a niche into this. So without the technology and the integrations and the support of the government, like, by making things like Aadhaar, etc., online, and like, people being able to sign documents within 5 minutes and not having to send these documents across to, like, the head offices of these companies. Well, that's if that did not happen, the BFSI would not have got the numbers that they're getting right.
Hmm.
So that's just one example. Like, there are several other examples of this, but then I would like to quote because that's a very relatable example, like how paperwork has got literally diminished in the process. And then, apart from that, there's a lot of like, regulatory technologies, like, compliance is kept getting stronger, like, no SEBI's end. So like, companies cannot do this manually. So they have a lot of AI, ML, etc. in place now, like, how they're using that. Just those two examples should be sufficient.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that, Abhishek. And coming to you, Mr. Prashant, I would like to ask you the same question. How do you see the technology and overall ICT landscape evolving in the last few years and any emerging trends that you have witnessed?
Yeah, I usually concur with what Abhishek mentioned. Uh, I've been working in the BFSI domain for a very long time now. So sorry for my voice. I have a really bad throat today. Uh, but in a large way, I concur with what Abhishek mentioned. There has been a word called Jandan, Aadhaar, and Mobile, the JAM technology that has been pretty much used or abused, whatever you can call it. But I think that forms the cornerstone for all the developments that are happening because specifically in the BFSI space, uh, getting your identity right is the cornerstone of any development that happens or any innovation that happens. And the ecosystem that has been created by the government over the last so many years actually helps doing that, ascertaining the identity of your consumer. And that becomes the starting point of any innovation. So that's one, which is the starting point, of course. And then there are multiple ways of delivering those services. So Tata comes into picture with the hybrid cloud offering and managed services offerings. So we in a way try to complement whatever platform has been built over so many years and play our own part in some or the other fashion in enabling the digital journey for our customers. And just to give some examples, national health authorities, since Abhishek mentioned about a social cause or a cause for the larger good, we've also been involved, of course, not in a voluntary way as Abhishek would have done, but we've also been instrumental in some of the initiatives and work with government for enabling some of these things. National Health Agency, uh, government e-procurement portals. All of these are some of the initiatives where we are proud to say that we have been part of that particular offering by the government and have been helpful in making that possible. So
Nice, nice.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. With that, I would like to conclude. And to all our viewers who are enjoying this conversation, stay tuned for many, many more stories. This is the Cutting Chai Stories brought to you by ETH.